U.S. forces struck Iran's three main nuclear sites, President Donald Trump said late on Saturday, and he warned Tehran it would face more devastating attacks if it does not agree to peace. After days of deliberation and long before his self-imposed two-week deadline, Trump's decision to join Israel's military campaign against its major rival Iran is a major escalation of the conflict and risks opening a new era of instability in the Middle East. The strikes were a spectacular military success, Trump said in a televised address. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. In a speech that lasted just over 3 minutes, Trump said Iran's future held either peace or tragedy, and there were many other targets that could be hit by the U.S. military. If peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. The U.S. reached out to Iran diplomatically on Saturday to say the strikes are all the U.S. plans, and it does not aim for regime change, CBS News reported. Trump said U.S. forces struck Iran's three principal nuclear sites, Natanz, Isfahan, and Fordow. He told Fox News' Sean Hannity show that 6 bunker-buster bombs were dropped on Fordow, while 30 Tomahawk missiles were fired against other nuclear sites. U.S. B-2 bombers were involved in the strikes, a U.S. official told Reuters, speaking on condition of anonymity. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordow. Trump posted on Truth Social. Fordow is gone. Reuters had reported earlier on Saturday the movement of the B-2 bombers, which can be equipped to carry massive bombs that experts say would be needed to strike Fordow, which is buried beneath a mountain south of Tehran. Given its fortification, it will likely be days, if not longer, before the impact of the strikes is known. An Iranian official, cited by Tasnim news agency, confirmed part of the Fordow site was attacked by enemy airstrikes. However, Mohammad Manan Razi, a lawmaker for Qom, near Fordow, told the semi-official Fars news agency the facility had not been seriously damaged. Iranian media quoted Iran's nuclear body as saying there were no signs of contamination after the attacks and no danger to residents living nearby. Hassan Abdini, deputy political head of Iran's state broadcaster, said Iran had evacuated the 3 sites some time ago. The enriched uranium reserves have been transferred from the nuclear centers, and there are no materials left there that, if targeted, would cause radiation and be harmful to our compatriots, he told the channel. Diplomacy unsuccessful. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu congratulated Trump on his bold decision. History will record that President Trump acted to deny the world's most dangerous regime, the world's most dangerous weapons, Netanyahu said. The strikes came as Israel and Iran have been engaged in more than a week of aerial combat that has resulted in deaths and injuries in both countries. Israel launched the attacks on Iran saying it wanted to remove any chance of Tehran developing nuclear weapons. Iran says its nuclear program is for peaceful purposes only. Diplomatic efforts by Western nations to stop the hostilities have so far failed. United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres called Saturday's strikes a dangerous escalation in a region already on the edge and a direct threat to international peace and security. Both sides' attacks on energy infrastructure, including by Israel on Iran's South Pars gas field, and the risk of a complete shutdown of the OPEC members' oil production, as well as Iran targeting shipping in the Straits of Hormuz, have fueled fears of a spike in oil prices and impacts on economies worldwide. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth was due to hold a news conference at the Pentagon early on Sunday. In recent days, Democratic lawmakers and some Republicans have argued that Trump must receive permission from the U.S. Congress before committing the U.S. military to any combat against Iran. Republican Senate Armed Services Committee Chairman Roger Wicker of Mississippi applauded the operation but cautioned that the U.S. now faced very serious choices ahead. One Republican lawmaker, Representative Thomas Massey of Kentucky, simply said, "This is not constitutional." Democratic Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said it was absolutely and clearly grounds for impeachment. Many in Trump's MAGA movement oppose U.S. entanglement in foreign military operations. Trump ally Steve Bannon said on his War Room podcast that the president's address was probably not what a lot of MAGA supporters wanted to hear, and he called on Trump to offer a deeper explanation for why U.S. involvement was necessary. Trump-aligned commentator Charlie Kirk posted on X, America stands with President Trump. Israel launched attacks on June 13th, saying Iran was on the verge of developing nuclear weapons. Israel is widely assumed to possess nuclear weapons, which it neither confirms nor denies. At least 430 people have been killed and 3,500 injured in Iran since Israel began its attacks, Iranian state-run Noor News said, citing the health ministry. In Israel, 24 civilians have been killed and 1,272 people injured, according to local authorities. Reporting by Reuters. Additional reporting by Rick Cowan and Jasper Ward. Writing by Daniel Wallace. Editing by Margarita Choi.